Hi, wonderful people. I hope you're doing well. It's Mark here from Not Defining. This is the place where we talk all about the ins and outs of sexuality, love, gender, relationships, self-confidence, and so much more so that you can find your best self however you define it. Today, I want to talk about a great topic, which is love, and more specifically, how we as bisexual people experience love. Now, the first thing I want to say about this is that we tend to talk about sexuality as sex. But what people don't often realize is that sexuality is about so much more than just sex. And bisexuality is no different. Of course, we have a wide range of sexual, physical, sensual experiences and desires. But bisexuality is really about fundamentally the way that we love. We can love beyond gender. We can love in a different way to the established norms of heterosexuality. So bisexuality is really about love, and that is something that's going to be unique to our bisexual context. So normally in the heteronormative sphere, we have this distinction between platonic and romantic, right? So there are certain people who will be your friends, normally of the same gender to you, and there'll be certain people who are a romantic interest, yeah? And that kind of distinction is pretty well delineated. In bisexuality, the line is not so clear because we have the capacity to experience love and attraction to all genders. What it means is that we might be friends with someone, but it could also be possible that we feel romantic love towards them. Similarly, we might be in a relationship with somebody, but at the same time, we might connect with them on a more platonic level as well. And this is a kind of beautiful thing about bisexuality. We get to have a really kind of diverse understanding and connection with different people. But what it means is that sometimes our love or our relationships won't look like the established standard. For example, in my own life, I've had a lot of, I guess, what you might call bromances, really, really strong, loving connections with other men who are my friends. Yeah, they're not sexual, okay, but there's a real affection there, and there's a particular link that I guess we can have that maybe heterosexual people or even gay people wouldn't have. And that's lovely. The other thing is I've had a lot of relationships with women, for example, where we've had that traditional romantic physical bond, but we've also had a really strong friendship. And this is something that is getting more and more understood. You know, when straight people have weddings and things, they will say, you know, you're my wife, you're my husband, you're my best friend. Yeah, this is something beautiful, and this is something that bisexual people can feel really, really strongly. So whatever feelings you have, however you experience love, it's okay and it's beautiful. You don't have to fit into one box. By the way, if you're thinking about your identity or your relationships and would like some support, then please hit the subscribe button and come and check out all our videos. We also have a Patreon group. The link is in the description, and you can do one-on-one coaching with me to help get you to where you need to be. The next thing about bisexual love is that a lot of the time we tend to second guess ourselves because, as I said, we don't fit into the structures of society and what we're supposed to love like. We can often start thinking to ourselves, is what I'm feeling really love? So if we look at the example of, you know, the male friendship that I mentioned, I often thought to myself, well, is this love? Like, what am I feeling? What am I feeling towards my friend? Is it affection? Is it romantic love? Is it physical? Is it attraction? Is it just a strong friendship? Or is it something else? And so we go through in our minds, what is it? And this can be really confusing. We also do the same with romantic connections and physical attractions. Am I really attracted to that person? Is this really romantic love? Do I really want a relationship with someone of that gender? Or is this just kind of fake? Or is it a phase? Or am I in denial? Or is it real? And these feelings can be quite traumatic for us. They can really get on our brain and be difficult to get rid of. What I would say is bisexuality is really about accepting all of those feelings as valid. You're not going to feel like you've been taught to feel in certain circumstances. You're not going to experience love or attraction in the same way as everybody else. But it is all real and it doesn't have to fit inside a box. The next thing I want to say, which is a lovely thing, is that I feel as a bisexual person, I am able to love so deeply. Yeah, as bi people, we are the people who, or bi plus people, who can love the most amount of people. So I think it's something wonderful that we are able to love technically anyone, right? Bisexuality, it doesn't discriminate. Yeah, it doesn't say I can only love these people. Yeah, or I can only have a deep loving connection or relationship with these type of people. Yeah, we are capable of loving any human being, and that's beautiful because in doing so, I find I get to find out so much beauty and richness in humans, you know, from the masculine, from the feminine, men, women, non-binary people, all different walks of life. And it's just such a beautiful, pure kind of blank slate that we have. And that's a lovely thing about it. Now, on the slightly less good side, oftentimes, as many in the bi community will know, our love is unrequited. A lot of people think that bi people are just about free love and getting with everyone, and we have best of all worlds and everything. That couldn't be further from the truth. In reality, it's incredibly difficult to find love as a bisexual person, or it can be, because you kind of get rejected by the straight world because you're too queer or too gay. And then you also get rejected by the gay world because you're too privileged or you're too straight, you're not queer enough, right? And so we find ourselves in this middle ground, and a lot of the time it's difficult to date, it's difficult to find a partner. Even if we do find a date or a partner, it's really difficult to explain in a society that doesn't understand bisexuality how we want to show up in this world, how we feel, how we are, what a loving relationship would be for us. And so we're constantly having to be probed and questioned and, you know, invalidated all of the time and rejected by a lot of people. So sadly, we've got all this love to give, and it's difficult to find someone who wants to give it back. Similarly, we can also get into difficult, toxic situations because we are so rejected and misunderstood. Oftentimes we can feel unworthy of love. And so when somebody gives us a little bit of attention, we fall very madly and deeply in love with them, and we connect to them very, very strongly. This is beautiful if that person is treating you well, but if that person then starts to mistreat you, as is sadly often the case, rates of abuse in relationships among the bi community are incredibly high. And the reason for that is because there are all these stereotypes about how we're not faithful, we're not committed, we're confused, we don't know what we want, we're going to cheat, all of that, none of which are true. But it makes us feel unworthy inside, and it makes us feel like our way of loving is not valid. And so then when someone says, this is how it's going to be, you're wrong, you know, your way is the wrong way, we can get into difficult situations and be mistreated or abused or worse. So just something to look out for, that validation inside of how you love is really, really important. Never let anybody tell you that you're unworthy of love, because you are. And the last thing, my very favorite thing of all, is the love that we have for ourselves. I find so often in the bi community, because we've been questioned, because we've been challenged, because we've had a difficult time, because we haven't been understood, because we suffer from such high levels of mental health problems and so forth, we really, really get a great sense of our own self-love, okay? Because we've got to find that for ourselves. It's often not mirrored in society around us. So I just want to recognize all my wonderful bi people out there, my bi plus multisexual community, whoever you are, wherever you are. If you're watching this, please, 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 please do that inner work, validate yourself and love yourself, because you are absolutely fantastic, okay? And you are so lovable. So with that, I wish you a wonderful day. Thank you so much for listening. If you'd like to hear more about bisexuality, then check out this playlist right here and this particular video as well. I hope you enjoy. Have a great day, and I will speak to you again soon. Bye for now.